Hello, beautiful friends. Wonderful, wonderful. Hello. Again, bliss is here. We've been working on bliss all day. It's all about bliss and then more bliss and then more bliss. And as we do that, we are around the world strategically positioned, the rainbow children of the mother that we are. They are strategically positioned around the world so that each one of us holds as much rainbow light as possible. And the only way to really contain it is through bliss and love. And so we cast everything else aside as it is not important. Like in the song, the devil has to run away when God is present. And so we fill up with that most magnificent white milky substance that you see here in this beautiful, absolutely remarkable painting of Lakshmi by Ananda Vdovich. And so I say, like when you have it, when you buy it and you can have it printed on different media, I sit in front of her and I just put my hands, like cup in front of her light, and I drink from her light. And everything that we do with our body in this world is so much more magical than doing it mentally. So that's why we are learning and remembering how to do this, that we use the body in this physical world to create magic. And so as we are so beautifully, strategically positioned on this planet, together we hold this new earth within us. It already exists as a dimension. And, I visited the new earth several times. And so, when we have these incredible missions to fulfill, we must give our best. And so every single one of us, whatever it is, we fulfill, of course, because that's how we get more also. And so one of the missions that I have is to be able to go to the new earth, to communicate with the beings who already live there. They are having a wonderful time. Aren't we jealous? And so then come back and communicate what it is that they are sharing with us, of course. And the funny thing is, of course, it's humans like us, right? And they just made it to the new earth. Many of the people that we consider to be indigenous reside upon the new earth, and we are actually met very often of their families. So none of the things that I share are my imagination, just so that everybody knows that would not be appropriate for this type of work. So it has to come from these self-realization experiences that everyone here is building into, right? We building energy, and many of you are already having these experiences, and it only will get better. And so, yeah, the shortcut, they do have a shortcut for us. And as it is in the Second Coming of Christ with Yogananda, which is really important book for this world here to understand what we are actually emerging from. So, for example, as John St. Julian speaks about, he says, this is a fallen world. This is a world that was created by a certain being with that name we don't want to say out loud. And so Yogananda speaks exactly about the same thing, that this world that we are in here was a little bit like a trap, and still maybe is to many. And within that trap, all these beautiful immortal beings that we are got trapped, and they couldn't get their way out because they were constantly being recycled back through the false cycle of reincarnation, which was absolutely unnatural. And so you can imagine. So the beings, the humans on the new earth, they always have that beautiful recommendation, and that is liberate, liberate, liberate. Just as it is in the movie Matrix, the first movie especially is really enlightened. It has all the codes within it. Whatever attachments we have within the Matrix, we are held back by them unless we came to be here as master beings who came to assist others to liberate. Liberation is not easy because, as it is in the Second Coming of Christ with Yogananda, Yogananda jokes and he says, if God now told humanity, come into my kingdom, leave your lives behind, leave your families behind, in a way, right? Because we really have one big family, and so we lose the identity of the roles, we lose the attachments, and the only thing that remains is actually love. And so love, of course, is not an attachment. Love is not holding on to something. Love is actually the opposite of holding on. Love is complete freedom. And so if we were able to let go at that fundamental level of all that is, we would immediately be able to rise to that beautiful dimension of the new earth. Again, we are here also on missions. And so the missions have to be fulfilled, otherwise people like Patricia Cota Robles would not be in this world. As far as I know, Patricia's very detached from all things that are within the matrix, just like Yogananda was. The funny thing is, like Yogananda, those are little funny stories. He never, ever even wanted to touch money. He didn't want to have even a coin in his pocket. And if somehow a coin ended up in his pocket, he immediately gave it to his students. He just was like, don't, I don't want to touch it. I don't want anything to do with this world. And then another funny story is about him liking something. And whenever he liked something in this world, he immediately stopped engaging with it because he didn't want to even have a like. He was like, I like coffee. I'm never going to drink it again because he says, the devil got me. If you like something in this world, he always said, the devil got me. And so, yeah, like his little code, all of it, so that is the level that maybe is not so easily understandable to us when we have our lives here, right? But it's good to know the big picture. So within the dimension of the new earth, what is so, so incredible is actually everything. And I often speak about the visitations to the new earth, but it absolutely requires complete freedom and complete what, Buddhism taught us, detachment. Detachment and love are two very interesting energies, right? Because you would think if you love something, you are not detached from it. But again, that's actually not what love is in her cosmic expression. Again, love is complete freedom. Love is also wisdom. And so combine love and wisdom and you get the big picture. The beings on the new earth also have been able to fully purify their bodies, which is something that we have been working on here quite a bit. And the purification of the body is not so much about food, even though it does require certain adjustments, of course, because the energies, they want to run very high through the body. So, for example, when we do Qigong, we are opening the meridians, especially the new meridians that, the body now has. And we are opening the new chakra system. We are opening through all the channels and energy centers that actually run through the physical body, including our skeleton, which plays a very important role also in our ascension process, as all our native people, worshipped the bones, right? Honored the bones. And the bones truly do play a very important role in our ascension process. And so the whole body actually does. And so the beings who are at that level of the new earth, they have been able to purify the channels of energy within the body, and they have been able to completely ascend through the body. And they have taken a form. So you will see, the oldest person I have seen on the new earth, like physically, if you compared age-wise, is probably someone in their 40s. And is actually one of my uncles, and he's not an uncle I've ever had in this lifetime, but an uncle from the Hopi family of the Native American people, from the Star people. And so it really depends on what we want to do, but that's pretty much the oldest person I've seen there. Otherwise, it's everybody looks like they are in the kind of 30s, the ones that I met with. So the new earth truly is an amazing dimension that is accessible to us. And now, as I understand from Divine Mother the last few days, she's asking us to really step up our bliss. And so that's what we're doing, creating the shape-shifting bliss here. And so whatever it takes, we'll shape-shift it to more bliss. And we're having so much fun with this. So these physical bodies that we have here in this world still, right? They became so contaminated in the Garden of Eden through the different interference we had. And it just became so ugly. And so the body itself, who used to be such a free being of the earth, had to start liberate itself from the unconsciousness that entered the body. So it's quite different story from what we learned in our traditions. But again, it's what Divine Mother explained. And so she explained how the body used to be a free being who knew how to use senses with complete love and detachment. There was no need to own, there was no need to grab, there was no need to desire. And so the body, as a being of the earth, was completely free. And when the body got possessed by unconsciousness, by these inserts, the body became so toxic and obviously heavy and heavy and heavier. And it had to become so dense and so toxic with unconsciousness that it started to age. The body didn't know how to get rid of unconsciousness any other way. And so the body then got sick with unconsciousness that actually entered this world. And the body just knew one way to do this, to shed the skin, but it didn't work so well because we had that trap going on here. And so the body itself now, whatever you can do is, again, I recommend doing the Qigong practices. And again, we will do some Qigong today because we want to run the highest cosmic energies possible through our, not like entire systems within the body. So it runs through the spine, it runs through the nervous system, and you can have peak experiences which happen. For me, most of these experiences actually happened in 2020 when my body was completely being rewired. And it happened through unbelievable things that just, I would put that into the kind of like the science fiction category, and including lightning, I have to say. And my guides, they were preparing me. They said, okay, you need to buy a lot of copper and you need to surround yourself with copper because of something that will happen to you in August 2020. And so in April, when they told me, I got so much copper, and they told me to put the copper in a certain window on a certain wall, and they showed me how to fill up the whole wall with copper. And little did I know they were preparing me for what is it called when you get struck by lightning, right? Yeah. So exactly, Lorraine. They were preparing me so that I'm fully grounded when I'm surrounded by copper. It was the funniest thing. And so again, it's the science fiction stuff. And so hopefully no one has to go through that. But it rewires the brain, of course, that amount of divine electricity when it strikes. So I got struck also in kind of middle of the night. My guides would come and they just said, sit up, you're gonna receive the solar flash. And so that happened actually like 3 times. And so all of these experiences can happen to us, of course, in these just naturally expanding states of consciousness. Yeah. And again, I'm always just so grateful to have such a grounded husband that many of you met, who can actually hold space for all of this to take place. So I just want to prepare everyone for whatever it is. Ascension through the body definitely is through the physical body being rewired, open up. The nervous system has to change, and you are always kind of birthed again as the new you. A truly unrecognizable transformation. So all of it, most of the time, is blissful, except for a few experiences which I would call uncomfortable, and some of them even extremely uncomfortable, especially when it came to releasing toxicity for Divine Mother through the body. But that was in 2017, and I hope that's all done. And so here we are once again, knowing that the body is every day playing an incredible role. Within cosmos are so many energies, right? So many energies. And so these energies need to be able to run in their highest expression through your body to give you a certain level of consciousness. When people open up to the lower energies, they too run through the body. And then they make the unconsciousness very embodied, right? And the person is acting out of unconsciousness. That too runs through the body. So we would say our chemistry really makes a difference. And when you think about all the hormones, the biochemistry within our body determining our state of consciousness, isn't it? Then we go back to what we are practicing here as of, this lunar cycle, how to actually activate the most fabulous biochemistry during the most auspicious dates for each sun sign. And so again, this is our October list, and let's just take a look at what comes after October 31st. And I'm going to put it in the slide so that everybody can see it, but just so that you know what to prepare for. So November 1st will be Gemini. Gemini will be on November 1st. Gemini will be on November. Sorry. I actually need to go back. Gemini starts on October 30th because there's always an overlap. So October 30th is Gemini, and it will be October 30th, 31st, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd. So Gemini will have 5 days. So these are the days that, again, Kelly Marie Care calls tithing. And again, I really like it, spending those days in intense spiritual practice and cleaning up, the diet and thoughts and emotions and your calendar so that you don't have much to do, and just trying to completely allow the freedom within you rise. So we often hear about Kundalini rising, and truly it is our consciousness rising. And it's not supposed to be dormant and asleep at the base of our spine. It's supposed to be risen. And so during these days, we experience the great opportunity for this rising. And so, most people are stuck and truly imprisoned by the first, second, and the third chakra. So in human terms, those are also our physical body, our emotional body, and our mental body. So we have 12 bodies altogether, right? Because each chakra, and we have 12 of them now, actually creates also a body around us. And so these bodies then run through the 12 systems, the 12 main meridians. It's all such beautiful design. But when you think about it, that most human beings identify with the body as if that was them, for example, the fact that, we live in a civilization of selfies, right? So the identification just went a little deeper because it's constantly seeing the face as the person, which it is, far from the truth. And so the identification with the body happens in the first chakra. Imagine that. The second chakra is our identification with our emotion. And the third chakra is our identification with our mind, our lower human mind. And so that's where most of us are stuck. The body, the emotion, and the mind. The thing is, from that level, we cannot get to know thyself. We cannot get to know who we truly are, because all that we truly are lives in the heart and above. And so how many people do we know in this world who are always living from the heart, always, without the pull and the temptation of the first lower chakras? So that makes the Kundalini completely dormant. The only way, is really when people have a little bit of sex and they get a little bit of excited about it. That's a little bit of Kundalini, but it's like tickling a snake. We want to have a full-blown rainbow body, and that's only possible when we liberate at level 1, liberate at level 2, liberate at level 3, non-attachment, complete void, nothingness. And then the serpent says, free way. And then she so-called rises, gently, slowly, moving up through the channels. And then when there is no obstacle, no thought, no emotion, nothing, just she likes nothingness a lot. And that requires, of course, an incredible practice. So during these days, we want to be so liberated physically, emotionally, mentally. So that allows it not to be clogged up, right? When we have busy thoughts, she can never rise. When we have busy feeling nature, she can never rise. And so the bliss that we feel in the heart is really what opens up the system, and then she can rise gently and beautifully and dance with you. And she does move all the way up, and she even moves beyond, and she moves through all the 12 chakras of our system and connecting us to the infinite, to God. And so this is now so possible. And so what we then experience, of course, is this incredible, incredible contact with our Divine Father, but also contact with our Divine Mother. And so I see questions about dates. So let me open November. So I said Gemini will end on November 3rd. Then we have Cancer. Cancer, again, through the overlap. If you are Cancer, you can write it down. Cancer starts November 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Leo, if we have Leos, again, due to their overlap, Leo is November 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leos will get 5 days. Sometimes, again, it's 4, sometimes 5. After Leo, we have Virgo. So if you Virgo, it's going to be November 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, they will also get 5 days. Libra, November 9, 10, 11, 12. Scorpio, November 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sagittarius, November 14, 15, 16, 17. Capricorn, November 16, 17, 18, 19. Aquarius, November 18, 19, 20, 21. Pisces, November 20, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And then who's going to have Thanksgiving? It's going to be Taurus. Taurus, November. Sorry, did I skip Aries? Aries. Aries, November 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Taurus, November 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. Taurus will have a couple of days. And I will have to put it in the email. And then the last days will be Gemini in November, and that's going to be 27, 28, 29, and the 30th. That's it. So this is going to be something where you can really say, you know, let's say you always do spiritual practices. And I was always, you know, wondering why some days deliver such huge experiences and then some days deliver nothing, even though I do exactly the same thing every day. And so now we know. Beautiful. And so also wonderful news. I already have one track of Maravati, but I wanted something different, something like very angelic. That was my vision for Maravati. And so our dear Lothoniel, who is a French artist who did the beautiful Platonic sonnets, she will start composing a fully dedicated Maravati composition. And I'm sure it's going to be divine, just like Platonic sonnets are that we often use. And the Platonic sonnets are in the alignment of the planetary axis, which is amazing. And so I was listening to a podcast, The Next Level Soul, and they had a young girl, I think she's 24, and she was remembering kind of memories from before she came to planet Earth. And I thought this was such a great interview. The entire interview, like you would have to listen to the whole thing because the whole thing is fabulous and it kind of only gets better. So it starts slow, but it just gets really, really great. I love the interviews. I'm going to share when she was called to come to the Earth and what her guides told her, which was really fun. And it's very sweet too. So it's on YouTube. So it's nice to have these prenatal memories. I think this is where it is. And let me go here. So she's just explaining her memories before she became a human. And because, she's 24, so we call it the millennials or whatever they are called, right? Okay.
Where you are now.
Mhm.
Let's actually talk about these memories of yours, these pre-birth memories, this life between life. Can you
Mhm.
tell me what it's like on the other side? Tell me how it works. Explain it to me if you can.
Okay, thank you. So the pre-birth memory I had was a very, so I was in a very dark space, I could say, and I felt like I had no physical body and nobody around me either. So, but I felt some sort of motion as if I was moving, and I saw a tiny bright white light at the end. And I was moving closer to that light. And as I was moving closer, I felt like I was in a hypnotic state or something. I I stopped and I questioned, wait, where am I going? And then a very gentle voice just started speaking through me. And there was nobody around, but it was speaking through me. And she said, "You're going to planet Earth." And I was like, "Oh, planet Earth." And again, I felt like I knew what that was, but I'd forgotten about it. So I asked, but what is Earth? What is Earth? And I felt really weird about asking because I didn't know how to ask and what to ask. And what am I even asking about? I knew nothing. I was just this completely blank canvas. So, and this gentle presence, she was really patient and she said, Earth is your new home. It's your planet. And I was like, okay. And I was moving slowly and I noticed that in that bright light, the white light was coming closer and it was becoming bigger and bigger. And I noticed that there were three figures and they were yelling and screaming something and they were saying keys, keys. And I didn't know what they were saying, but I was excited. I got excited and I asked that presence, what are they saying? I want to know, what are they saying? And she said, they are saying kids, which means a girl in their language. They're screaming, girl, girl. And I was like, girl, okay, lovely. And I said, well, what is girl? And I felt like I knew all of those things, but I forgotten. So I felt a bit weird about asking. But she was really, really patient. And she was like, she explained that I was going to be born as a girl and the difference between a boy and a girl and reproduction system and how my body as a girl, as a female, was able to create new human beings, bring new life. And I said, wow, that's lovely. And I felt like that was a superpower when she was explaining to me. And I was like, that is so lovely. I can't wait to be a girl. And she kept saying, it's time to go. But I didn't want to go. I was like, wait, wait, I have more questions. But she said, it's time to go. And the white light was becoming closer and closer. And I think I felt as if I was falling back asleep. And slowly that voice, that presence was fading. But she said, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. You're going to be welcomed. You're going to be loved. We're always with you. Just remember that always. And she was fading in the background, but I think I was fighting the desire to sleep and I tried to stay awake, but I just quietly said, okay, I will remember. I will remember. And then the next thing I know is I am in that tiny body that those people were holding. And it was very uncomfortable. It was stiff. And the first thing I noticed is that I was disconnected. I didn't feel that love and that calming sensation that I felt in that darkness or wherever I was. I felt really uncomfortable. I almost said something like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. And this lady, someone started holding me and they brought me to I think they put me onto my mother's chest and I could hear the heartbeat. I was listening to the heartbeat and it was really warm. It was calming and she said something. My mom was saying something, but I couldn't understand the language. But whatever she was saying, it felt like a wave, like a warm energy going through my body. And it felt like as if she said, I love you and I will protect you. And I think in that moment, I felt, whew, relief. I said, okay, I am loved. I am welcomed. And they were right. They said they said I would be welcomed. I would be loved. And I felt that. And I was thinking to myself, I wish she could hear me back. Thank you. And I wanted to say that to my mom. Thank you for loving me.
Isn't that so beautiful? I loved it, and especially for you women here, you know, the superpower of being able to give birth to life, right? Wasn't that beautiful? And just, you know, if you have children or grandchildren, it's just so magical to think about this, you know, and we all arrive from the mother. We all do arrive from the mother. It was very, very beautiful. I'm just smiling. Loved it. The whole interview is gorgeous. And so here we are. This is how we entered, you know? Yeah. So beautiful. And we are so grateful for our brothers who are on the path of consciousness, of course, not only women. And we need the fathers, we need the brothers, we need the divine masculine here in this world more than ever, right? And so this is very beautiful. And so here we are in these bodies on a mission, right? This is how we came here. I love how she was fighting the suddenly when you have to when you have to sleep, right? You come here and the energy makes you feel a little asleep here. But here we are waking up and awake. And so again, let us run a little bit of energy before we actually go into meditation. And so breath, movement, all of it, standing on the earth is so essential these days, so essential. Think of it as the big body of information, our Mother Earth. She really needs to inform us. Every day she has new information. Cosmos has new information every single day. And the information cannot run through a person who has really blocked energetic channels. That's why we keep opening up. The main energetic channel through which information comes is always our spine, and it's always our heart. And so again, how we align in this world, I always, since Divine Mother first started teaching me, you know, alignment is the key. How we sit, how we sleep, how we walk, how we stand, all of it is very important. The alignment of bones. And there is perfection in our design. And so when we become aware of the perfection in our design, right, then we have the energy flowing. Divine Mother had me sleep in such a very awkward way, you know, it was so uncomfortable first. And I'm still doing it every night. I got used to it. But she just wanted everything to be uncrossed, everything to be straight. I call it the soldier sleep, you know. And so that's just so that the energy and information can run through the bones. And there will be a lot more that we will unveil here, of course, soon as we learn more and more. I know you're going to understand that humanity will unveil and discover the true meaning of our sacred blood, what blood really is, what information blood carries beyond just the genetic information. So, you know, there's a lot that's going to be unveiled here for humanity. And so let us do a little bit again of that really important microcosmic orbit. So this is especially important, you know, for your health. And as you know, when we actually meet God, the energy of God is complete, unbelievable, mind-blowing, just massive emanation of what we would call health. And it's such a tangible experience of well-being. Within God, there is no disease. And so that's one of the wonderful things when we are one with God, that we experience this rewiring of every cell. And so the microcosmic orbit can really support everyone who is seeking more healing, more health. But I always say, even when you're super, super healthy, that's also the most fabulous time to be practicing all of this anyway. That's how I always see it. You know, the more you do, the better it gets. And so the more life force you have, the better you feel. And, you know, it's all about really gliding and floating in this world. And so we're going to run the energy of this miraculous microcosmic orbit You know, again, I recommend doing this every single day, because within the spine is a great mystery, and it is the spine that allows us to experience pure divine consciousness.
The microcosmic orbit has been a practice that's been held in secrecy since time antiquity. The Taoists use it to connect to their inner light and empowerment from within, to access divine wisdom. The martial artists use it to access inner power for strength and vitality and physical prowess. We can use it to empower ourselves, to boost our internal energy. You see, when you circulate the orbit within yourself, you're doing something inside your body that's happening within the universe. As above, so below. As is the macrocosm, as is the universal energy, so is the microcosm, our internal energy. So I want to show you a couple of practices that activate the microcosmic orbit within yourself. First one is a warm-up. We're going to take a stance that's about shoulder width, your hands by your shoulders, knees slightly bent, and we're going to do spinal cord breathing. We're going to open the chest and look up, and then round the back, tuck your tailbone under. Your chin comes down towards your chest. You're going to inhale as you open the chest, and exhale round the back. Now feel your spine as you do this. We want to activate the cranial sacral pumps to move the energy in the back meridian, the energy pathway through the spine. Now to do this, we're going to activate some pumps, the sacral pump. When you round the back, squeeze your buttocks, squeeze all the muscles here to activate the sacrum, and this will help the energy to move into your spine. And when you open the chest here, we're activating the front channel, the front meridian of the microcosmic orbit. So we're warming up these pathways as you do spinal cord breathing. Inhale, open the chest, feel your heart center open. Exhale, round the back, squeeze the buttocks to open the sacrum. And inhale, and exhale. Just warming up the spine, feeling this front channel of the body. Microcosmic orbit is a circular pathway, often called the small heavenly circle. If we look out into the universe, we see that the universe is in orbits all over. We have planets orbiting the sun, galaxies orbiting other galaxies. Everything is cyclical and spiraling. So what we're doing here is activating the channels, the energy pathways through the back of the body and through the front of the body to create this orbit. Now relax. Now you've warmed up your spine, you've opened the front of the body. The orbit goes up the spine to the top of the head. From the top of the head, it's going to come down through the front channel of the body. And this is a special pathway and a special way of circulating energy within yourself to create harmony and balance. The benefits of the orbit is increased energy because you're recycling energy, it stays contained within you. Your body's doing energetically what the universe is doing, so we tune in to divine wisdom. Now here, this is called turning the wheel. I want you to hold your hands so that the palms are facing towards each other. And your hands are just going to coax the energy through the microcosmic orbit. I want you to pull the hands back, and you're going to feel the spine. And you're going to lift energy up through the back to the head. Move the hands forward. When you move the hands forward, this represents energy coming to the forehead. When the hands come down, energy is at the throat, heart, solar plexus, belly. Pelvic floor, you push all the way to the bottom of the pelvis, and then come up through the sacrum, spine, head. Move the energy forward to the mid-eye, down this front channel. So you're moving the energy in a water wheel inside your body, and the hands are just helping to coax the energy through. The breath, you're going to inhale as you come up and exhale as you come down. A couple of little internal energetic techniques. Keep the tip of the tongue on the roof of your mouth. That is like connecting the circuits of yin and yang within yourself. And then when your energy is coming up the spine, very lightly, you can squeeze the pelvic floor. You just inhale and squeeze the pelvic floor. Energy rises. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. energy descends. You just keep the tip of the tongue there. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And now you are doing the microcosmic orbit. You're turning energy within your body. What's important to remember is that this microcosmic orbit is already within you and circulating. In the same way, your heart continues to beat. Your energy is always moving. But we can improve circulation through exercise, and you can improve energetic circulation through Qigong. And that's what we're doing here. We're improving our energetic circulation by consciously moving Qi, the life force energy, through these very specific channels. And when the energy rises, it helps to illuminate your mind. And when the energy descends, it helps to calm and balance your emotions. And you're harmonizing yin and yang energy through this circular movement. Inhale as you come up, bring energy to the head. Exhale as you come down, bring energy through the body. If you look out in nature, this is what's happening all the time. The water evaporates from the oceans, the rivers and the lakes, rises up to form clouds. The clouds rain the water back down. And when water circulates like this, it stays healthy and fresh and connected. And the same is true with your internal energy. Circulate the energy. Move it through this water wheel. Irrigate all the channels in your body for health and vitality, for emotional balance and clarity of mind. Do this just a few more times. Exhale as you come down, nice and slow. Inhale as you come up. Bring the hands down and just feel your Qi in your hands. Close your eyes for a deep breath or two. Feel the life force energy that you've cultivated within yourself. Put your hands on your belly. Take a deep breath. Relax. Wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much.
Again, we did enjoy it. And so what happens?
There's an idea in Qigong that we need to...
Sorry. So what happens when we do practices like these? We actually cease to suffer. And that's very interesting, isn't it?
My name is Craig.
So from my experience, when Divine Mother enters us, she enters us through these open energetic channels. I say she doesn't choose us, saying, I want you, I don't want you, There is no such thing as, kind of discrimination. It's much more the laws of physics. When a person is empty, she enters. And so that's why we want to be the open door, the empty bone, the holy grail that can be filled. Now, to me, this was, what really happens is that when we can empty ourselves through meditation, and when we are able to completely let go of all thought, all feeling, all body attachment, then she simply enters. And when she enters fully, she burns all our karma from the body. So you could think of karma as being held in the body and the etheric body that we have. And so when she enters, she deletes all suffering. It's amazing. And that's what she wants to do for all of us. And so these practices are preparing us or just empowering us to be able to receive the Mother fully. There will be solar events, and at the moment they are really happening a lot, right? We have a lot of solar flares, but from what I've seen, the future of the Earth, there will be more. And when this intense energy comes, when a person is prepared, which is why we do what we do here with the Green Tara, when the person is energetically ready to receive the intensity, you will rise immensely. And there will be nothing that will hold you back. But people who have not prepared because they are absolutely unconscious, right? They have no idea that actually we need to be liberated first. Then first the energy will upset the things, right? Because it has to move through a lot of garbage. And so that's why we want to be super light. And so we have the tool of breath, we have the tools of movement, we have the tools of meditation, we have the tools of chanting. And so let us chant 3 ohms together, and then we will do a little breathing exercise with Craig Weiss, which is on Gaia TV. Yeah, and that's why, that's why I do what I do. Whoever wants to come, comes, it's about coming and going, receiving, and just using the tools. And these are the tools that I know that work, because the embodiment of the Divine Mother is really the ultimate goal for each one of us, of course. And so share your tools with everyone freely. There is no reason to have anything trademarked. There is no such thing as copyright, I believe, ideally in the world of the mother. Everybody should get whatever they need and want and find useful. And so what is it that we are seeing? We are seeing a shell. But let us first chant Om. Om together will be absolutely incredible. And so we inhale Om, inhale Om, inhale Om. So let us go together into a deep inhale. Om. 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 So now let us go into our breathing practice. So for this, you can be sitting in your chair, or you can be sitting on the ground, whatever you prefer. Either way works well. And because we always want to intensify the practice, when you do the breath, the Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath, do it through the spine. Okay? And so definitely chanting Om or Mu. Yes, absolutely. Both very powerful. So here we go.
And this is a revolving Ujjayi breath meditation. At any point during this practice, feel welcome to rest from the breathing exercise, especially if you feel any dizziness or shortness of breath. Ujjayi is a powerful breathing technique that functions to balance the nervous system and enhance our capacity to focus. Ujjayi is often referred to as the breath of the ocean, given the distinct sound that it generates in the throat. We'll begin in a very comfortable sitting position. You can sit on a cushion or a support, and then find the most comfortable position for your legs and back. Once settled, lightly connect your thumb and index fingers. Place your hands facing down on the knees into a grounding chin mudra or hand gesture. Relax your shoulders as you lightly extend the spine. Create natural flow of space across your chest, back, and torso. The spaciousness will facilitate greater depth of movement for the lungs and help you draw into the full capacity of your breath. Establishing Ujjayi, start by slowly breathing through your nose. Relax your face and jaw and observe the texture of breath passing through the nasal passages. Begin to lightly work the breath down the body as you inhale. Each inhale pours into the belly and continues to rise up, filling the ribs. Each exhale releases in the opposite direction, emptying the ribs and ending with the belly drawing in. Slow down this rhythmic cycle to enhance the meditative qualities. The present becomes more profound as irrelevant thoughts dissipate. Be mindful that the breath is not pushed aggressively into the body, instead invited in with natural, progressive intention. As these diaphragm breaths continue, begin to lightly narrow the top of the throat as if you're whispering "ha" with your mouth closed. This closed throat vibration will sound similar to this. Listen closely as the sound resembles waves rushing in and out on a beach. Both the inhale and exhale have this distinct sound. Let's continue for a few more moments, absorbing the vibration and tone of this breathing pattern. Breathing in ha, breathing out ha. Continue to work through the fluidity of this breathing, smoothing out any roughness. With this slow breathing pattern and this vibrational tone, we'll add a bit of movement through the spine. Again, ensuring that the knees are very comfortable, we'll begin to ride the sit bones. Take a slow inhale and arch the spine a bit forward, looking up. Holding onto your knees, exhale and round the back, lean back off the sit bones. Inhale, hands pull you forward, roll to the front of the sit bones, flow the arch up through the spine and neck. Exhale, round, spread out the back body. Inhale, lift up and forward. Keep relaxing the knees. Exhale, chin down to chest, spread open your shoulder blades. Ujjayi, let's start to circle. Inhale across the legs, right to left. Exhale, round back, move behind you. Rolling over the right sit bone, inhale across the legs to the left sit bone. Exhale and circle back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, naturally come forward and across. Exhale, circle back, massaging spine and organs. Inhale over the legs. Exhale back. Again, continuing the cycle, a couple more rounds, massaging the spine, massaging internal organs, calming the nervous system as you continue with the sound of breath in the throat. Balancing out the nervous system and the flow, let's inhale and lift the head and lift the shoulders, and exhale. Take a moment just to steady the body, reassure the knees are comfortable, sustaining the slow pace of breath, filling the belly, filling the ribs, filling the mind. Coming into the other side, you may want to shake out the legs, release the knees and feet. Crossing the legs the other way to balance out the body. Once you find the sit bones evenly balanced, exhale. Returning into Ujjayi. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, round like cat. Inhale, open. Exhale, back. Inhale. Exhale. Moving this into circles, inhale over the left knee and now over to the right. Rounding back as you breathe out. Naturally spreading open as you breathe in, broad chest, circling behind, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Just like the breath is smooth, the circling motions are smooth, rolling over the sit bones. Let this rolling, spiraling motion go up through the spine. Breathing in, face relaxed, eyes are calm, circle behind. And then coming from that back position, we inhale and lift the head and shoulders, and exhale. As we take a few more moments of stillness, we'll place the hands into Surya Mudra, the Earth Mudra, bringing your thumb and your ring finger together. Wrists brush over the knees, shoulders relaxed, balance spreading across the heart and back. A very subtle elevation of the spine while relaxing the jaw, the cheeks, the nostrils. Slow, steady breaths flowing down into the belly. This time the breath shifts into a quiet state. Let the ujjayi dissipate, and let your attention turn inwards to the more subtle vibrations, the tone of existence, the energy body. Feel welcome to continue meditating, not judging, just simply observing. Thoughts may drift in, we allow them to drift out. No expectations, just letting the mind expand, seeing what can change naturally on its own, going with the flow. Namaste.
So this is on Gaia, which I recommend having, and it is Craig Weiss on Gaia. And I think some of you found him also on YouTube. So it's just a beautiful exercise. And so you see the same thing, right? What do? We are opening the spine. We are breathing through the spine. And why are we opening the spine? So that the rainbow light can flow easily through us, so that we can handle the intensity. And so the intensity of God is always like electricity. The intensity of Divine Mother is the intense magnetism. And so this body needs to be prepared with all the practices we do for the intensity, so that it's not in a shock, so that it's not, burned by the intensity of electricity. So it's all very beautiful. That's why the breath through the spine is so beautiful. When a human being is really entered by the mother, which, for example, Saint Francis of Assisi is a great example, of course, including, of course, the great Yogananda, then when the mother enters through every channel in the human being, not only does she burn all karma instantaneously in all the human bodies, but she also then stays within the body, and she then requires that the human being carries her light into this world, and then she reflects back to you through nature her love. And that's why the people then get surrounded by animals and birds, and just animals love them. Animals then, of course the birds especially, they recognize the person. And that's the story of Saint Francis, for example, right? So we always see the little sculptures with all the birds around him. And so that's what it is. The Ujjayi breathing is always through the nose. We do very few breaths through the mouth. There are some that we do, but mainly it's breathing through the nose. Beautiful. Wonderful. And so when the little birds come and the dragonflies come, it's all Divine Mother coming to you because she recognizes herself. That's pretty magical. And so we will continue our journey tomorrow. Tomorrow we are building up. Sadhguru speaks about this too. Of course, the entire inner engineering is about building up the channels so that they can hold the mother, they can hold the father, and then leads to transformation of consciousness, because it changes our biochemistry. We'll be meeting Saturday and Sunday, yes. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm not available. We are going to the Divine Mother Center in Laytonville. So maybe some of you will be there to celebrate the beautiful festival of Divine Mother. Navaratri. Very similar to Maravati. Wonderful. So thank you so much and many blessings.